So, are you feeling a little, vampiric? Welcome to the Vampire Author Tag. If you want to join in, questions are in the description box below. Otherwise, I write about vampires. How about you? Let's jam. Welcome on back to the Writing Glimmers edition of Sitting Down with Soul Writer November Writing Challenge 2025. It is so good to see you. Welcome on in. As the author of the Myrna Annals, Magical Immortals Throughout Time and Space, I often do encounter... most of the time I encounter vampires and their friends. We're going to word it that way and just leave it that way. So welcome to the Vampire Author Tag. If you would like to tag anybody, please feel welcome to go ahead and welcome them to the video, check out the questions and more. Maybe I'll make a playlist eventually, but at the same time, I'm going to call out two specific people. Rachel D. Adams, and Rhiannon Futch, because wow, they're vampires. Y'all's vampire needs to sit down with y'all's vampire to have afternoon tea. That's all I need to say. Question number 1. When did you first encounter vampires in books? Anne Rice. No one's surprised there. I actually remember watching Interview with a Vampire at a very young age when it first came out, because my brothers were not a very young age when it first came out. I have the middle child of the family, my brother Dennis, to kind of thank for my love of all things dark fantasy, vampire, and whatnots, because it's kind of his doing. He introduced me to Lestat at a very young age, and wow. So you can kind of imagine, therefore, what kind of books and movies we might talk about here in a bit. Question number 2. How about that first encounter for movies and other cinematic entertainment media? See, my brother was reading the books right around the time he first started watching said movie about Interview with a Vampire type things. And so for me, at this stage of my life, I don't remember exactly which memory came first in my head canon, because age, I was little, y'all. And I remember us talking about it. And then there was another movie, The Vampire Kid, or My Neighbor is a Vampire, something like that. It was a movie about a bunch of little kids, and it was like a kid's movie with a kid vampire. And I remember watching that. Of course, I grew up with Sesame Street. I know the Count. He taught me how to love, how to count. Which, if any of you all got Kit Kat vampire counts, they are so labeled. For those of us vampire authors, I now have a joke, thanks to a certain somebody in my life, that your words count. So have some counts, vampire author. Anyway, bad joke. Next question. So what vampire do you agree with the most lore-wise? Probably a lot of the older 80s, 90s core. But I is a fan of, and some of you know. True? Right? I started reading The Black Dagger Brotherhood, Dark Lover by J.R. Ward my senior year of high school. Literally, it was my graduation present to myself. I was given a bookstore gift card. I think it was to Walden Books, of all places, back then, if you remember Walden. Link in the description box below to Southern Novel Sense if you are so interested, because wow, Rage smells amazing. Just saying. And I've been reading a book at a time ever since. J.R. Ward is the only author that I have followed from book 1 of a series to 30 plus. And a lot of her snarky, snippy, sarcastic, yet brutally honest characters influenced me that it is okay to have characters who are like that. Some of you who have read my books are like, yep, that explains Frey, that explains Abraxas, that explains Ian to a degree. Yes. It also, she crafts, the Brotherhood at large is a bromance. Two of them are twins, so let's forgive the Agony twins here for a second and treat them as the individuals that Fury and Z actually are. Dang it. Anyway, I'm a Fury fan. Forgive me. Anyway, it's the hair. Yes, it's the hair. My hair is jealous. It's the hair. The fact that her brothers treat each other like blood siblings, they call each other out. I should know. I have 4 older brothers. And that proved to me that there's a readership for that long before I started writing characters who have that level of, I adopted you, now you're mine, get over it, dude, friendship. And that's why I say my books are as if she is the dungeon master for a game of D&D or Pathfinder where, you know, you're sitting down with Tolkien and Martin also at the table, because I apparently like to collect the R's in that regard. Pirate joke intended, given, you know, I named myself after Grace O'Malley. It all came full circle. However, next question. Which vampire lore do I agree with the least? 2 of them. One, because I would rather my dragon shifters sparkle. Thank you, Twilight. Vovry has scale-ish skin. It looks human from a distance, but you see a little bit of a glimmer to the scale when the scales show up in the dragon key, and that made more sense to me, just by comparison. But anyone here know an anime called Vampire Knight? Vampire Knight. It broke my heart. I love the manga. I love the anime. It broke my heart. So, yes, I learned from that series, that franchise, only to break my darlings, my readers' darlings, actually, only so much. However, teenage me is surprised that there is another anime that broke my heart more. Dance and the Vampire Bund. Oh my goodness. Oh. You want to talk about a dark anime? Yeah, my books need to be lighter than that in the heartbreak department. Woo! Good franchises, good storylines. I love them both. Oh, my feels, they're still bruised years later. Next question. If you're folding a Masquerade Ball, which vampires are on the invite list? The 2 people I tagged earlier, yeah, Rachel, Rhiannon, all of your vamps are invited. Let's make the tea session happen at a ball, why not? Probably my characters would want to join in on that. Probably because I played it recently, the cast of the Vampire DLC from Sims and Sims 4, because their drama would keep any party interesting. And also probably majority of the standard required characters for the video game version of one game known as Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. Now you see where I got tons of inspiration from RPGs to write about vampires. Because Vampire the Masquerade was my teenage years in so many regards. And yes, I played as Nefertiti multiple times. And a lot of that carried over into her, into Maria, into Malice. Anyway, next question. Who is on the heck nah list? I'm sorry, Twilight. Nighttime preferenced vamps only. Thank you. And again, we'll let the shifters with the scales of every kind do the sparkling. Thank you! Your fans are welcome to come because they'll likely like all the other people I would invite too. And yes, I probably would even invite the cast of Vampire Night. However, I've seen what masquerade balls look like in Dance in the Vampire Boond. I'm not interested. Nope. 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 I wouldn't even want them at the after party or on the planning committee. No thank you. So what fictional vampire do you think is the most deadly? Let's pull out the henchman hitman list of one Vampire Hunter D. Why? D himself is deadly. The people he faces. You want to talk about some cannon fodder for inspiration of your baddies? Go watch Vampire Hunter D. Or Van Helsing, the anime. Yes. Yes, yes. Also the video games that come from the Van Helsing line are also really good too. Next question. So, how about the most realistic fictional vampire? Who's probably the most realistic? Rachel and Rhiannon's definitely. Definitely. Probably Vampire Night. It's like a dark academia setting is why I say I could see a dark academia high school like that actually being a thing. If magic were a thing. Also, question number 9. Which historical vampire figure do you enjoy reading or researching about most, if any? Tempesh. The actual Vlad Dracul Tempesh. Also, everybody's favorite, lady who used to go take baths in people's, crimson liquid because it made her look prettier. You want to talk about cannon fodder for dark inspiration. Look at history. Look at humanity. Thine not half looketh too far. There's also a couple of historical accounts here in Mid-Atlantic Appalachia that are short stories about vampire-like creatures who were settlers that made the wrong burial grounds mad by putting their farm on it. We'll put it that way. Whew. Anyway, next question. Which vampire authors are on your must-read list this season? You all, if you haven't put Rachel and Rhiannon yet, need to. I'm surprisingly behind on the Brotherhood. I have the most recent book that just came out to finish in the actual, main timeline of the Brotherhood, and that's my Christmas present to myself. I normally splurge. I know that series I will read frequently, so when I can get the paperback versus the hardback, I try to get the hardback and wait until it's on sale. That's just me. So, therefore, how about you? Who did I miss? I missed so many good things and got super nerdy on others. Go ahead and do one yourself if I didn't tag you, and if you want to tag somebody to join in, bring them on for the ride. What are you doing to keep your crimson liquid flowing? And if you made it this far, leave a vampire-friendly emoji as part of your comments. There we go. Above all, take care of yourself. You've always been worth it. And we'll get back to talking about revising and self-editing soon. Dang it.